Sifu Raphael is the founder and host of Coaching Call, Heroes Rising, The Seer Show, and New Tip Daily. He works with individuals, groups, and businesses and helps them find clarity, purpose, and understanding of who they really are in business and personal life. Sifu Raphael has used his skills to develop a variety of multifaceted businesses in the martial arts and fitness industries. He owns and operates a 10,000 square foot martial arts and fitness facility in New York. Jose Escobar is an award-winning, nationally recognized personal development speaker, published author, and sales professional. He leads compelling, high-level communities consisting of entrepreneurs and advanced leaders through his two business models, the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf and the Connected Leaders Academy. He is also the co-host of Heroes Rising.
Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're having an exceptional day. I just got a text from my guest. When we consider that someone is going live, it's tough. It's a tough thing, right? So I've been doing this show for a long time. And for me, showing up is always priority. When I tell someone I'm going to be there, man, do I do that? And I show up because I understand that people matter. And understanding that, I think that's probably one of the most important things that we have to recognize regularly. So consider showing up. My co-host is not here either. And I hope that he's okay. I hope his family's okay. Great guy. He was not here last time either. So I am hoping that I still have a co-host. Not sure what's going on in anybody's world. But you know, one of the things, let's talk about certainty, right? How can you know for certain what's going to go on? You can't. So today we wanted to talk about the superhuman, how to be a superhuman today. And it's not easy. And to be honest with you, I don't know any superhumans. No matter how they act, the way they show up sometimes can help in delivering that message. Are you showing up the way you want people to consider you? I got to tell you, I am so excited for what's happening today. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I am creating a multi-million-dollar platform, which when it comes to fruition, it's going to be beyond exciting, beyond something that there are similar platforms out there, but not like the one that we are creating. Can you imagine what it would mean if you can communicate on a deeper level with everyone? Or what if they communicated with you on a deeper level? Don't get me wrong, sometimes we don't have time for chit-chat. Sometimes we don't have time for things because make believe you're a firefighter. As a firefighter, you don't have time. You have to act, you have to react, right? In a fight, if you don't act and you don't react, you're probably going to get punched in the face. So consider everything that we do on a daily basis. Where do we show up? How do we show up? Everything that we do every single time will help us understand everything about us. Who do we associate with? Who is in our corner? Who do we allow into our inner circle? And is it the people that are driving you to your future? Or are you driving you towards your future? It makes you consider the choices that we make on a regular basis. every time we choose a yes or a no, and when you choose to say something, when you choose to say yes to something, is what I meant to say, is you most definitely choose to say no to something else. Where are you when it comes to your communication skills? How do you even say no in a polite manner, in a way that you don't offend other people? So, understanding what we're doing on a regular basis is going to help us understand who we are in the world, how we show up, how we communicate, the kind of person that we want to be. Consider one of the most important things that we do in the communication world. We speak on so many truly, truly important messages. The way we use our hands, our body. The other day, I just want to share with you something on communication. I did this with two different people. One was young and one was older. And I said, "Did you know you just communicated with me?" They looked at me. They didn't say a word. They had not spoken, but they were having trouble. And I just looked at them and I smiled. And all I can think of is they did not do what they were supposed to do. And this is why they're struggling right now. Let me ask you a question. Have you done what you're supposed to do? Are you struggling? That's the real key. A lot of times, yeah, we may do what we need to do, but we may be struggling because of other circumstances. But if it's our own fault, why are we struggling? So I said to them, you just spoke to me. And they looked at me really puzzled. And I said, even though you said no words, your face said so much to me. Your actions or inactions also spoke to me because they were stuck. They were literally stuck. And I can see their brain was trying to recapture everything they were supposed to have done in order to have success at this moment, and they didn't have it. That, by somebody's actions or inactions, may be where they stand. So I am just talking. I'm hoping that my guest will come on. He said he's going to be slightly late, but I'm only going to be on for another minute. And then after that, I'm going to have to say adios, amigos, and we will see you next time. I put a lot of effort and work into not only getting guests, but setting everything up. So I send emails out. I set everything up. I plan. I give them Google links. I give them all kinds of things. I share with them the importance of showing up on time. But I got to tell you, it doesn't always work out the way, no matter how much you plan. And right now, I'm sharing with you what happens when you plan all you want. But if you rely on other people, your plan may not work out the way you envisioned it. So, with that said, what's one thing that you have planned? I'd love to hear it. Put hashtag in the comments and let me know. Replay if you watched it later on. What is it that you've planned and it didn't go according to plan because someone else did not either step up, step in, or do their part? I'm curious because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. This will not be the last time that I have a guest either come late or not show up at all. It's happened many times before. Even with my co-host, has not shown up. Things happen. Don't get me wrong, and I pray for everybody's health and safety when somebody doesn't show up. But there comes a time when you actually have to say, "Hey, guess what? The show is over." Thank you so much for joining me. If you were able to, have yourself an exceptional rest of your day. Because guess what? Even though some people did not show up here, I showed up. And I know that my day is beautiful. I don't, here's one thing I'm going to share with you. I never have regrets because, or I don't even set my expectations high. I only set my own expectations. I never set expectations for other people because things like this will happen. So think about that when you go on your day. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate those of you who stopped by, said hello, and I look forward. In about 2 weeks, I have two guests coming on. So thank you guys. Have yourself an exceptional rest of your day. Take care. Okay, I was about to get off and say goodbye, but my guest actually came on, and I really like this guy. So I got to tell you, I'm going to bring him on. So, Sir Kaya, how are you, my friend?
I am doing amazing. What's up, Sifu?
Dude, I almost just left you.
You almost just left me. I appreciate having the flexibility. I just finished a sales training and I apologize for my tardiness.
Yes, yes, push-ups, man, push-ups. You got to do some
Push
push-ups.
up. I got to do 100 push ups. How you doing, buddy?
That's all. Just 100. All right, I'll let you go with that one.
Oh, 100. Maybe it needs to be 200.
Yeah, there you go. So, thank you so much for joining me, and I appreciate the fact that you actually took the time to be here
Yes.
with me. My co-host, I have no idea what happened to him, but it's you and me now, and
It's us.
excited. So, I want to talk about what makes you do what you do. You talked about just you did a sales training just now, right? Why do you do that, and why do people need sales training? Doesn't everybody know how to sell?
Aha, that's a $1 million question. Man, that's loaded. That's, by the way, let's give a round of applause to Seafood because that was a very good frame. Doesn't everyone know how to sell?
Right.
That's a positive mindset. Doesn't everyone know how great they are? Doesn't everyone know their infinite potential? Doesn't everyone know that they're a child of God, that they're here to contribute and do incredible things for humanity while also living a happy and productive life? Doesn't everyone know all that? So that
Right.
is an extremely powerful frame that Sifu's bringing to us today. And a lot of people may feel like, hey, I don't feel I'm worthy. I don't feel I'm good enough. I don't feel I'm deserving. They might have learned the other stuff. So,
Mm.
what I've discovered in the context of sales is that most people, first, there's a stigma. Some people don't like sales. They think of sales as, you know, they have a negative stigma about it. Like it's
It's a
manipulative or
dirty word.
it's a dirty word or whatever. So there's people that have resistance to sales. So what I always say to people is that we either are selling the value that we bring to the marketplace and to the world,
Mm.
right? Or we're selling out. We're selling out on ourselves. We're selling out on the client, their family. Let's say they want to be in this house. Let's say they want to have this beautiful car or this, whatever this, they want to have this health product. And if we're not stepping into selling the value of that product to them, then they end up not having the product and they end up, it's a disservice to them. So I
Mm.
truly believe that leaders, entrepreneurs, salespeople are the 3% of the population that moves and improves the other 97% because
Oof.
nothing, Sifu, all of us as we're hearing this today, nothing happens in this country, nothing even happens in this world until something is either bought or
Sold.
sold, right? And it also tells me at some point in our life, if we're a salesperson or a sales professional, that some point in our life, that you decided I'm not going to be an employee. So
Mm.
you walked into the bathroom or your living room, wherever, and you saw the mirror and you looked in the mirror and you said, "I'm willing to be paid what I am
Worth.
worth."
Without a doubt.
Right, right. And would you agree that there's infinite potential? There's people that we work with that make, I don't know, $100,000 a year, $300,000 a year. There's people that make 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, and even more
Mm.
in many industries, including real estate, mortgage, financial services, network marketing. So when you asked, why does anybody need sales training? Isn't everybody already a good salesperson? I
Mhm.
love that mindset because that's what you're projecting, and that we're holding up a mirror to people,
Mm.
so then for them to see what they're capable of through the mirror we're holding up. But if we were to go behind the scenes and go into their
Mm.
mind and ask them, what do you really think about
Mm.
your ability to sell? Most people have some level of insecurity or some level of resistance to sales.
Yeah, without a
And
doubt.
I'm not just a sales trainer. So I just, the premise on this is I'm a success coach for Fortune 500 companies. We train the number one offices and number one agents all across the country in real estate, mortgage, financial services, network marketing. And I'm also very much a transformational coach. So I go in to help people upgrade their mindset, their belief systems, their values about themselves, so that they go out there and really be the leader that they are deep down
Mm.
inside. And then we do a lot of philanthropy. We do a lot of humanitarian work. I directed and produced a documentary called Homeless in America, which
Mm.
won Best Social Documentary at the New York International Film Festival. And recently, under the leadership of our current mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, who just was with President Joe Biden a couple months ago when he came to LA. Under her leadership, we've now, and our support, of course, as well, we've now helped 19,000 homeless people, or they call them unhoused people, get off the street and get into some form of affordable housing. So a lot of things are happening in a positive way. We also do a lot of work with veterans that suffer from PTSD. So we rehabilitate veterans that
Mm.
suffer from PTSD. And then we also support Thorn, which you probably have heard of, the huge child trafficking, human trafficking issue that exists in the world.
Mm.
So we support that organization to try to eradicate and end child trafficking. So I have the business success coaching side, which has transformation and sales as a part of it, and then we have the philanthropy side. And can I share how we met, or can you share how we met?
Oh, you go for it.
I mean, you guys know, because you're part of Sifu's incredible community. You know how amazing this man is, and I had the pleasure of meeting Sifu I don't know, less than a month ago,
Mhm.
and we were in a training together. And that's first thing I love about him. I love about you, Sifu, is the fact that we are whatever age we are. I'm 51, right? You may go, okay, you don't look 51, or you do look 51. You look older. Kai, you look older than 51. I don't know, whatever.
I think you were
I'm
22, but that's
22.
fine.
I'm just proud the fact that we are whatever age we are, and in our 50s, we're still growing. And so he's learning at a deeper level about personality types, and I'm learning. I will be with personal growth, I'll be like a forever learner to the day I die and beyond. So I met Sifu, I met you.
We are you frozen, or you're just thinking out there?
Called
It looks like you froze for a second, buddy. You are in LA. Look at that amazing frame. You
We're
you
back.
froze like this. That was good. You're back.
Good. It
I
was
said
good.
you're in LA. That's why you froze like this. You're a great Hollywood actor as
So
well.
we're about an hour and a half away from Hollywood. We're in Newport Beach, California. Anyway, just so we met, and there was about 20 or 30 people going through the high level mastery certification training, and you just, I believe everyone is beautiful. Everyone has a beautiful light. You stood out of the group because you had
Thank you.
strong leadership skills. And what I really felt from you is as much as you are a high driver and action oriented person and highly knowledgeable, uh, you're very much in touch with your heart and
Mm.
very humble. And, you know, I mean, I admire you. So thank you so much, Sifu, for having me on your show today. I'm super excited. And I have a little bit of making up to do because I was a little late.
So where do you want me to send the check for that nice, those nice words?
Exactly, right?
Thank you. That's very humbling. But you know, when it comes to people, I think, and the reason we're both in that program and that training is because people matter, right? And you talked earlier about God, and we're thinking about how people, without people, what would we have, right? Without
Correct.
someone being negative, without somebody being positive, there's no yin and yang, right? It'd
Correct.
be one sided. It would be kind of boring, right? It would be a boring life. So we need all of these different things. I love the charity work that you're doing because and when I go back to you know, California, sometimes I go to LA, um, different areas there. I was actually supposed to be in Newport in a couple of days, but I'm not going to be able to
Ah,
make it. I'm not, unfortunately, right? On the 20th, that would have been next week, right? And so what happens is every time I've gone there a couple of times, I'm in my hotel room, really nice hotel, always stay at the Hiltons. And I'm looking out my window and I'm
mm,
seeing all these tents and all these people out there. And I'm at a mastermind and everybody there is just phenomenal. And but I have to walk through these people who
mm,
no longer have homes.
mm.
And when you talked about that you helped what, 1,900 people find a place to,
19,000 people.
oh
Yeah.
my God, even better. 19,000 people find a place to call home. Wow.
Mm,
Besides it being a tent or besides being at the corner of, right? And it broke my heart when I saw all these people that we finished at a restaurant. And what wound up happening, there was so much food left over.
mm.
And we all thought, no, 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 we all need doggy bags. We all need
Correct.
doggy bags. So we had these tons of doggy bags because there was an abundance amount of food, right? It was kind of gross if you think about it. And but we took that food and we went and we gave it to the people that were
Mm-hmm.
out there. And they didn't expect it. But you know what? If more people just thought for 1 second of someone else,
Mm-hmm.
what a world we would live in, right? Do you know how
Exactly.
many restaurants were on that strip and how many people did what we did? Only us. That night, the whole block could have been fed, right? So consider what you're doing, my friend. You're amazing. And I love the fact that you and I were connected that
Kindred
day.
spirits. Yes.
Absolutely.
Now,
But
quick
you know,
question for you, Seafood. Do you hear some background noise?
how about now? No.
No, I hear you clearly, but I
Okay.
also hear background noise. Do you hear background noise?
No, I
No,
don't.
I
So
hear
we're
it.
good.
Okay, so we're good. Yeah, so I hear it from somewhere, but hey, as long as no one else hears it, we're all good.
If you
All
let me
right.
know, I'll go kick him in the head. That's fine. You know.
Yeah. So Sifu, can you share a little bit about what you do so that, you know, my audience can learn a little bit about you? I know that you're a multifaceted individual.
Well, for me, everything I realize, right, from a young age, I've always looked at people maybe a little different.
Mhm.
One of the most memorable moments for me was I thought that no one else can think the way I think.
Mm.
No one else had the thoughts that I had. And boy, was I wrong. I was
Mm.
so wrong. And I thought that I'm the only one with this brain. I'm the only one that thinks this way. And I was so, thank God I was so young. I was literally probably 3, 4 years old when I had this thought. And then because I saw a kid who was a family member, but they were not all together, right? They had mental issues and they were just playing but they could not comprehend,
Mm.
right? At this point, we would say they have something that no one else can ever truly understand. They're autistic, right?
Mm.
And we're still struggling with that. I work with a lot of autistic kids now and adults also. But for me, when I saw this person who was autistic, it made me think that they didn't care about what I was thinking.
Mm.
They were in their own world. And immediately I said, wait a minute. If they're in their world, I must be in my world.
Mm.
But the beauty of this whole thing is that we share a world together.
Mm.
Even though he's
Right.
in his head, I'm in my head, you're in your head.
Mm.
There's 8 billion plus people in this world. We all live in our own tiny little worlds, but we share a bigger world. So
Mm.
when I realized that, I said, how can I make people matter to me? And this is why I was in that particular training with you, because their motto is
Mm.
make people matter, right? But I've known that since I was 3 or 4,
Mm.
that because my thoughts were, that kid doesn't know any better.
Mm.
I had a terrible thought. I said, what if I go hit him? This is like 3 or 4 years old. I go, what if
Wow.
I go hit him? He won't be able to tell anybody, so I can get away with it.
Wow.
That was a deep thought. And I said, I'm not going to hit him.
Right.
But just the fact that that negative thought passed through my brain allowed me to concentrate on the fact that I have a choice here.
Mm.
I have a choice to make someone suffer.
Mm.
They can't say anything.
Mm.
They may become fearful of me, but they
Mm.
could not communicate that because they couldn't talk.
Mm.
And the kid was around my same age, right? I think he was a cousin of mine. But then I also thought, what if instead of hurting him, I joined him
Mm.
and I went and played with him?
Mm.
And even though he couldn't talk, I can still have a good time with him.
Mm.
We can share this world that we're sharing
Mm.
together.
Very
So
much.
that's when I realized that people are beautiful. And
Mm.
when somebody says to me, this, I've been blamed of this a lot. You love everybody. And I said, yeah. And they're like, well, people hurt you. You got to be more careful. I
Mm.
said, well, that's on them. If
Mm.
they want to hurt me, let them.
Mm.
I said, I know how to take care of myself, but
Mm.
they're going to hurt you financially. They're going to hurt you. They're going to talk behind your back. They're going to do all these things.
Mm.
I can't change what they're going to do. I can only change my actions, and maybe they'll change how they behave towards me.
Mm. Mm.
So when I realized that, that spoke volumes to me.
Mm.
So my whole life, I've always been looking at how can I help someone? So my whole mission in life has been how can I help? In high school, I was on the gymnastics team. I'm 6'1". I'm not supposed to be on the gymnastics team. I'm a tall guy for gymnasts, right? They're usually
Mm.
what, 5 foot nothing.
Mm.
And when I applied in high school, my coach looked at me and he said, "No." I said, "What do you mean no?" I said, "It's tryouts, right?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "No." I said, "Well, it is tryouts. Well, you have to try me out." He goes, "No, I don't." I said, "Well, then I'm going to go talk to somebody." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "What could you do?" We were standing on a wooden floor. The mats were over like 50 feet away. I started flipping on the wooden floor.
Wow.
And then he turned around. He goes, "All right, you're on the team."
Wow.
So I didn't let my height or someone else say I couldn't do something.
Right.
By the way, I learned how to flip on concrete. So if you can
Wow.
you can flip on concrete, you can probably flip anywhere. And the reason is
May not be
because,
the best for your knees, but hey, that's impressive.
but here's the thing. When you allow fear to set in, you won't do some of the crazy things. I'm sure you've done crazy things.
Yeah.
That was not the brightest thing for me to have done, but I learned how to flip. Later on, I got to
Mm.
wear Capizio shoes, the uniform. I was flipping on mats, on trampolines, all of that stuff. So I got into the team, but it wasn't just me getting in. It's how can I help someone else?
Mm-hmm.
So from that high school, I went and I taught gymnastics at a different high school
Mm.
to kids from the age of 4 to 16 on Saturday mornings. And then in my own high school, I would go in zero period before anybody got to school, and I would teach kids who didn't know how to swim.
Mm. Wow.
So it's always been about how can I help?
How can I help?
That's it. So all the businesses that I currently own, it's all about that. I have a wood shop, and I don't take it lightly when somebody says to me, "Hey, can you build this for me?" Because I don't want it to be the cheapest thing or the thing that's going to fall apart.
Right.
I charge premium prices, right? So people go, "Oh my God, you're expensive." I said, "By the way, you don't have to use me."
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "What?" But also in my martial arts training, I dive deep when I go into something. So for me, in coaching right now, I'm creating a platform for communication. I have
Mm.
25 instructors that are going to be part of it. I have a physical location.
Mm.
I, for me, it's about how can we help people communicate in a higher and deeper level. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was talking about before you came on. I was talking about how can we communicate? How can we show up?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk. And I kind of almost went off, but then I saw you come on. I was like, oh, no, I got to stay on because I know we're going to have a great conversation.
Yes. Everything you share is so profound. Um, I loved how, at a very young age, that voice came in. It's like, hey, it's almost like you have two things in life. You have, you know, this goes for anybody, whether they're spiritual or they're not spiritual, but just the metaphor, the idea you have the devil on one side of your shoulder, you have God on the other side of the shoulder, and who the negative mindset on one side, you got the positive mindset on the other side, and who are you going to listen to? Right. So you had this thought going in at a very young age. I could hit that boy and then I could get away with it. And the other positive mindset or the God in you went, I could help that boy. And, whether anybody knows about it or not is irrelevant. Um, very profound, very profound. It really kind of goes into the fact that we all have a choice
Mm-hmm.
and whatever we feed grows, right? Whatever um, I choose love and I choose God. I choose like what you choose, helping people. And, I think that's perhaps the thing that gets to change in this world. And we actually have a new company and a new group that we've formed around heroes.
Mm.
And we have some incredible hero stories of some heavyweight champions and some other champions in the world of boxing. So legends, right?
Mm.
People that fought against Muhammad Ali and even beat him in the ring, right? So we have this incredible group of boxers, and then we're going to go from boxers to people that are in the movie and the film and music industry, people that have conquered adversity and are adding something to the world, and really like the hero's journey,
Mm.
right? So I love this, and your share was very very profound that we all have that choice and that decision to make. And another thing I loved that you shared is when you said, love people. And then you said, well, people have told you you can't love everyone. People sometimes hurt you. They hurt you financially, they hurt you in relationships, they hurt you in other ways. And what I'm a big proponent on A Course in Miracles. It's a book that's been endorsed by Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, who wrote The Power of Now and A New Earth, Oprah Winfrey, and a few other people, and also my mentor, Marianne Williamson. And it is Christian in theme, but it is also, actually, no, my correction. It's Christian in terminology, but it's actually very Buddhist in theme, right? It's all
Mm.
about detaching and letting go of the ego and being present. And one of the things it talks about is turn the other cheek. And it
Mm.
says in the Bible, it talks about turn the other cheek, and people interpret that to mean something. But the Course says turn the other cheek means when someone strikes you, let's say on this cheek, they hit you financially, emotionally, or in a relationship. What you're supposed to do is show them the other cheek that they didn't hit. Turn the other cheek. You're showing them the cheek that they didn't hit to show them that no damage was ever caused.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that ties into what you're saying, which is people can be hurtful, but yet we get to be the presence of forgiveness and to say, not in denial of what happens. So we get to talk about things when things go wrong, and we get to set boundaries. We get to be a positive interruption in people's lives. But the point is that we are so much more than this physical body and something that can be hurt or not hurt. We're a spiritual being. And in the context of our true nature, no one can really hurt us. We're an eternal being. We're having a human experience. Pardon my French, but shit happens in life.
Mm-hmm.
And just because that shit happens, it doesn't define you, and it's temporary, right? It's temporary. And so I'm always looking for what is the higher self
in me.
think or want or say,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm trying to look at what does the higher self, or I could call it source or God,
Right.
see in this situation that I'm not seeing, that my ego's not seeing. And then also what am I seeing in this situation or in this problem that my higher self or that God or source doesn't see?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a different mind, right?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and that helps me. It grounds me. I'm just super grateful that I'm not entrenched in the human experience, because if that's the case, everything that goes wrong or things that challenge you every single day will throw me off. And I think a lot of people are where today, even where I used to be, which is being very reactive. I'm no longer reactive, to what happens around me. I'm responsive. And so spirituality or meditation or yoga or anything that really helps you kind of get present and get in touch with that inner light, inner confidence, inner peace, and put that out there, because I think the world is highly stressed. And we go back to sales, because you talked about sales.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, we're just really helping people sell the value that they bring to the marketplace and the world. And one of the most important person we need to sell is ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We got to believe,
Yeah.
do we believe? Are we sold? Like, before we have any communication with anybody else, what's our belief in ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
And before we try to sell this product or this thing or that to whatever a person, do we believe in them? And so one of the powerful principles in John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, is the law of addition. And he talks about that we're here to add value to other people. And one of the biggest things that we can add to another person is belief in them.
Mm-hmm.
What do we believe in them? So when I think of sales, I think it's so much more around everything. Mindset. Am I sold? Do I feel I'm worthy, deserving, great enough, good enough? And then, do I believe in the other person that they can have what they want, that this product and this service can serve them? So now, do I believe in the product and service? So when I believe in myself, and I believe in the client, and I believe in the product and service, then all I need to do is get out of the freaking way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Like, in other words, put all my insecurities, my negative self-talk. Oh, I don't know if they're going to say yes. I get out of my head and just serve. My friend, dear friend, Les Brown, just about a month and a half ago, did a 2-hour interview with him, which was amazing. He said it was his best interview in over 50 years.
Wow, look at that.
From the Les Brown, right?
Mm.
And I asked him, what's his, he's sold hundreds of millions of dollars in coaching, and, he's trained all the biggest Fortune 100, 500 companies. He spoke at the Georgia Dome in front of 80,000 people. I think he's the only motivational, inspirational speaker that has spoken to 80,000 people in a stadium, a whole entire football stadium. Uh, and I asked him, what's your philosophy on sales? He says, don't go sell. He says, go serve. He says, if you're thinking about, I'm getting into a situation to sell versus I'm getting into a situation to serve, he says, you'll sell so much more if you're coming to serve, not to sell. And, uh, and I thought, man, that was deep. I know it's simple, but it is deep.
It's super deep.
Because
Super
there's
deep.
so many sales trainings out there. It's like sell, 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 sell. I want to teach you how to be a better salesperson. And then when you learn about personality types, you start to learn. And we heard about this in our training that we did together. The Galley Group says only 18% of people actually buy from someone that's not in the same personality type as them. Whereas when it comes to the deals that are closed, 82% of people that buy a product or service are actually buying that product or service from a person that happens to be in the same personality as them. So you go from 18% when you're trying to sell, a conversion rate when you're trying to sell to someone who's a different personality type as you, and up to 82% when you're in the same personality type. So what that teaches me is I don't need to become a good salesperson. And I know this may be really, really weird for salespeople to hear who are constantly trained on
Right.
be a better sales skill person, blah, blah. I don't need to be a better sales person. I need to be a better people person. And shout out to Sherry Tree because she kind of brought this to the forefront with her program, Bank Code and Code Breaker. I need to be better at understanding people. If you understand people and you enter into their world, you'll be a better salesperson. And are you really selling or are you really serving? So these are just some, incredible breakthroughs. And what I love about you is like Sifu, you're just, it's who you are. It's just your being. You're very enrolling. And I took a note of that because we were in a training together of 3 days. And I'm like, man, whenever he talks, he just brings everybody in. You're very enrolling. And I go, okay, what is enrolling about Sifu? And what I got from it is, again, what I mentioned before. You're in touch with your heart, very humble. Um, you're there to give. You're a light to other people. Like when we first met and we had a dialogue together, one of the first things you said, I'm so happy and I feel so amazing because I just met you. And I'm like, when do men compliment each other? Like when
Right.
like literally it's like it's stupid. It's so crazy. And women, when do women compliment each other? I know just speaking to women, it is so much worse with women. The
Really.
cattiness, the competition, the comparing, who looks better, who has this. We're so freaking competitive. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to make competition wrong because that's also a
It's a
value
good.
set. It's also a value set, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the athletes, the musicians, the filmmakers. We're all
Filmmakers. We're all.
competing for that Oscar or that Golden Globe or that gold medal. Look at Usain Bolt, right? Where competition is healthy in the form of, um, excelling and making you the best version of yourself. And in the form of, look at the Olympics, it's one of the oldest, vehicles, I would say, for bringing the world together in this human spirit of celebrating diversity and excellence and all that. So competition is good. But what I'm talking about, the negative side of competition, is this word comparison. So if you're watching this interview, please write down the word of comparison. Comparison is very destructive in many ways. If we're comparing ourselves to another man or to another woman, and we're basically saying, I'm better than them, which puts me on a pedestal, which is looking down on them, or they're better than me, which is putting them on a pedestal and putting myself down. That is that is from the Course in Miracles. That's the work. That's the mindset of the ego. And so,
And it's
uh,
evil.
when do men, compliment men? Like, obviously, if we did an event together and you had a slew of men at an event and we were speaking, I mean, obviously, You know, you're going to bring someone on stage, you're going to read their bio, you're going to compliment them. Yeah. So in the certain formalities type situations where you must introduce someone to an audience, we compliment each other. But outside of that, in a normal waking state, I don't, you don't hear that. And so when you complimented me, and it just told me who you are and what you're about, right? Man to
Appreciate
man. And I think, and the other thing too, and this is a profound thing, is when you celebrate other people for what you see in the greatness in them, you're saying it's okay for me to
it.
have the same thing, to be the same thing. I had a woman once, she wanted to go and buy, you know, a nice car, right? Her goal was, I'm going to kill it in business, and I'm going to go buy myself a Mercedes in, you know, 3 months, 6 months. Well, 3 months, 6 months came by, and she didn't kill it, and she went and bought a Hyundai, right? And
Mhm.
so, what do you think was the message that she sent herself when she wanted this, but ended up buying this, right?
Failed, and
Right.
she's not worthy.
I'm not worthy, right? So we're constantly sending a message to ourselves. So if I'm elevating my brother, Sifu, and he's elevating me, and we're elevating each other, brothers and sisters, what message do you think we're saying to ourselves? When I see the greatness in you and I celebrate the greatness in you, what am I saying? Right? So the
Well,
idea is,
you're elevating. Anytime you elevate someone else, you're actually elevating yourself.
yeah, I'm saying I'm projecting what's going on inside me. So when I see the greatness in you and I compliment you and I celebrate you, I'm saying a very different message. I'm saying it's okay to win.
Mm.
It's okay to be great. He's great. I can be great, right? Because what we've learned in neuroscience and neuro linguistic programming, we have a certification that guides people through some of these principles and mindset and transformational training and communication and all of that. We say consciously we know that we're separate. Like I know I'm a man and I'm Kaya and I'm here in Newport, and Sifu, you're a man and you're in what city are you in?
New York.
You're in New York. Dang, look at that.
Mm.
Right? And I've got my background, you got your background. Consciously we know we're two different bodies. But unconsciously, at the subconscious level, we know that we're the same. We bleed the same blood, we cry the same tears, we have the same wants, needs, desires. Most people, if you ask them, they want to be happy. Most people, if you ask
Mhm.
them, they prefer to live longer, stronger, healthier, and happier. Like we all basically have the same needs, right? Um, so we realize consciously we're separate, but unconsciously we're all the same. We want the same thing. So when I say to someone, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're such a, and I'm pointing that finger over there, you're stupid, you're an idiot. I've got what? I've
Three.
got these three fingers pointing back to me saying, I'm stupid, I'm an idiot. Why? Because everything I say, I take personally. So when I attack another person, I think I'm actually attacking them. But what I don't realize is that by attacking them at an unconscious, subconscious level, since I know we're one, I'm actually attacking myself.
Mm.
Uh, and that's why typically it doesn't feel good to do bad by others. That's why we have the emotion of guilt, that emotion of guilt. It's a feedback mechanism saying like, hey, and this just ties into everything you were saying earlier. So,
Well,
um,
think about this for a second, right?
yes,
If we are all brothers and sisters in God's eyes, right, and that's how we should all look at each other, why am I attacking my brother? Why am I attacking my sister? Right? One of the things that I do every day is I thank God for all the gifts He's given me,
mm,
but I don't want to keep the gifts.
mm,
I want to share them. So I ask
mm,
for guidance to allow me to share the gifts He's given me with others so that they can be fruitful as well.
mm-hmm.
So consider everything you've been saying, and thank you for those compliments. You can stop now.
He's
But
like, you
I'm
can
going to take
stop
them.
now. You can
I'm
stop
going to
now.
take them. You're going to take them. But consider even yourself. How many times people, audience out there, friends, family, brothers and sisters, that you have met someone with the first sir, right? So you've been knighted, right? Tell us about that. I really want to get into that because I don't want to
People are
leave this
curious
show
about.
without I don't want to leave this show without me knowing about it. Forget
Yes.
everybody else. I want to know. Tell me about that experience and how did that come about, Sir
So
Kaya?
thank you so much. So I'm a knight, knighted by the Royal Order of Constantine the Great and Saint Helen, his mother. So Emperor Constantine was the first emperor, if you look at history, that was finally accepted Christ and Jesus in his life right prior to death, and Saint Helen, his mom. So it's an order that's been around since 321 A.D.
Mm,
And it's a very old order, and had the, very tremendous honor and privilege of being knighted by Prince Raphael of Spain. I got nominated by an incredible gentleman called John, and we have I think around maybe 400 knights around the world
mm,
in different countries. Paula Abdul, Tony Braxton,
incredible.
and some other incredible Dr. James Dentley, if you may know, Dee Dee Wong, who actually knows um, one of the coaches that trained us, right,
Mm,
at the Coldbreaker event. And we're looking to bring other influential people in, and it's really about philanthropy.
mm,
One of the biggest causes they work with is women and children that are victims of domestic violence. So we have shelters in Hawaii that are expanding, and other things that we're doing. So we have knighting investitures, which is what had happened when we did our training. I had to fly to Chicago for one,
mhm,
and we nominate and we knight people that are within a few different categories. So it could be business or entrepreneurship, someone that is making a difference there. It could be sports, it could be music, it could be the arts. We've had veterans that have knighted, firefighters, nurses, things that are people that are doing things at an exceptional level
exceptional.
to
I
make a
love that
difference in
word.
the world. Yeah, I was thinking excellent. Excellence, okay, but
Um,
exceptional,
exceptional.
exceptional.
So, how
So
was the experience for you? Tell us how long was the ceremony for? What were your
yeah,
feelings during that time?
yeah, it was,
You're talking about everybody else. I'm trying to get back to you.
yeah. It was a surreal moment. I got knighted. They flew in Prince Raphael of Spain, the Duke Gerhardt, and Baron Sir Sid, and they flew the entourage from different parts of the world, specifically with Prince Raphael of Spain from Spain, and we met in Las Vegas, and we got knighted at the Venetian, and it was in a very exquisite banquet hall. There was probably, I think, I don't know, 300 to 500 people in attendance. There were a few of us that were getting knighted, some as knights and some as dames or ladies,
Mhm.
and they called your name, and I was walked by two current knights up to the podium, and then I took the knee, and Rafa of Spain had his sword,
I saw that
and
image. That looked amazing.
and I just felt God.
Mm,
I felt God in the room, and it was a surreal moment. And the feeling I got is this is a call to serve. You are being chosen not because you've done this or that, but because you're being called to serve another mission or a higher vision. And so I felt it as more not at all a celebration of accomplishments, but more a call to serve humanity at a bigger level,
wow,
to do more things. I felt like as a duty and a responsibility.
wow,
So then I
incredible.
had my sword, which is a massive one, engraved with my name, and came back, and now, so and as far as leadership, they have how do I say, they've promoted me to prior of Los Angeles. So in each state across the US and all around the world, we will have a grand prior that leads a certain state and a
Mm,
prior who is not just a knight, but is leading a certain city. So I've been promoted to prior of Los Angeles. And we are going to be having a knighting investiture in LA. Probably the last one we had was at the um, not the Four Seasons. I'm trying to remember the hotel. Uh, it's in Beverly Hills. I'll remember in a moment. So we might be doing it there in Beverly Hills, and it will be probably in 20. We haven't set the date yet, but it will be in 2025.
nice, nice. And so this happens once a year, every couple of years?
Yeah, so we will have around three knighting investitures in and around. We had one in Chicago. We had one in Miami at the in the cruise building that was exquisite. We had the mayor, one of the mayors in Miami, who is knighted.
Mm,
I'm gonna have a chat with our current mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. I don't know if um, you know she'd be open to that. We did give her an award for the incredible work she's doing. I have a TV show actually called the Top Leaders Forum, which is
mm,
powered by the Los Angeles Tribune newspaper. And the whole TV show, Top Leaders Forum, is really about unlocking the success secrets of the world's top leaders. So we've had Mayor Karen Bass, we've had Maxine Walters. We did an interview with Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, who won championships with Kobe Bryant. Interviews with Nick Cannon, with um, uh, bunch of different actors and people. Uh, so we're gonna have one in LA, and I'm also dear friends with the mayor of Ontario, Paul Leone. So these are some of the individuals that have been for now a really long time, really contributing a lot
very cool.
to the world, and we're gonna nominate them, and I'm sure they'll be selected to be knighted in 2025. So we'll stay tuned. If you want information about the order, you would go to myroyalorder.org.
Go ahead and put
My
your, on the private chat, put your, the website up so I can put it across the screen and then we'll share it.
private chat. Here we go.
While
My
you're doing
royal.
that, I wanted to ask you a question because we started this whole thing on sales, right?
Right.
And when you consider, and you said something very important, nothing happens in the world without sales.
Correct.
And when I said everybody should be a salesman, right? But consider the fact that how many people have been told, man, you talk so much, you should be a salesman. And that is probably the wrong message to give to someone because it's not about talking, it's about informing the person
Mm-hmm.
on whether this product or service makes sense for them. So if we
Mm-hmm.
consider the person first and the product second, I think that's where sales truly shine. But it's very funny when I hear somebody who talks a lot and they're like, "Oh, you should go into sales." I'm like, "No, they shouldn't. They're going to talk everybody out of it."
Right.
That's usually what happens, right?
One of the biggest skills is listening.
Hmm.
We have a 1 day training, topproducersglobal.com. And, as I mentioned, we train the number one offices and number one agents in real estate, mortgage, financial services, network marketing. We've trained the number one Century 21 office in the world, Century 21 Allstars, the number one agent in the history of the Century 21 brand, Marty Rodriguez, PHP, Patrick Bet David's company, WFG, Ed Milet's organization. He's part owner, I believe, and New York Life. We've trained the number one office. They actually went number one after our training. So we're training all these
Nice.
different industries. And in the 1 day event, people have such powerful breakthroughs. Um, you know, this lady, this lady was doing a role play with someone, right? And she did her thing. We asked her, I want you to imagine that you're at Starbucks and you're waiting in line to get your coffee. And in that moment, you're gonna, you've been given this goal to build your team, to build your company, bring in more clients, recruit more people, and build your wealth and freedom. So you got to start shaking hands and meeting people and
Mm.
share with them a little bit about your opportunity. So We gave her a role play with the whole entire room. She was doing the role play with this lady, and she's doing her thing. And then what we did is, okay, say pause. And then we went to the people that were receiving the communication, the prospect, and said, okay, what were the three things that worked for you about the way she communicated with you? And then that person shared. And then what are areas for improvement? Man, oh man, did that open up something. When the woman that was giving her feedback said the feedback to her, she said, you were talking a lot and you were good. But then when you asked me a question and I answered the question, I felt like you weren't really hearing me. I felt like you were ready to say the next thing. I felt like I wasn't really, it was about you, it wasn't about me. And this woman said, "Oh, okay, yeah. Damn it, I do that. Yeah." She admitted she'd been told by other people that that's her problem in communication. She doesn't listen. But what happened? That was just the beginning of the breakthrough.
Oh yeah.
Then the woman said, "I have a suggestion for you." She said, "What's that?" She said, "Just tell yourself pause." She said, "Pause? What do you mean?" She says, "When you speak and you finish speaking, just tell yourself pause." Like pause, right? And the woman had a massive breakthrough. She said, I
Beautiful.
have been trying to fix this problem. People have told me so many times that I don't listen, but no one has ever put it that way to me. No one has said, pause. She said, I can do that. And she's kind of started tearing up. She had a huge breakthrough. So when you talk about what you said about people that talk, 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 I mean, I talk too much and I talk too long and I talk, 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 talk too, right? But we got to listen.
Mm.
We got to listen and pause. And I'm only speaking for personal experience. I not everybody is wired the same way. If I
Correct.
can remember a time when I wasn't pausing, it's because I have a I'm running on an agenda. I'm running on I need to close this deal or I need right necessity, right? Right, which is based on fear. It's like if I don't get this done, then I don't have enough. It's all based on this pressure and this stress that we put ourselves in. What I've noticed has changed my communication with other people so much is grounding.
Mm.
Every morning I wake up at 5:25 or 5 actually 5:15. I'm on Zoom with a group of people as part of our superhumantoday.com
Love it.
lifestyle. We
Love
go
it.
outside, we do our meditation for 12 to 15 minutes. Then we go outside, we take our shoes and sandals off, and we stand on Mother Earth, right? Whether it's sand, whether it's grass, whether it's soil, uh, earth grounding, right? The stories, the research has shown that when you ground yourself to earth,
Huge.
instead of living in your shoes and walking on cement, hardwood floors, and constantly never connecting to earth, when you ground yourself to earth, alkalizes your entire body. So we do that. And then we do Wim Hof breathing. Shout out to Wim Hof, right?
Hmm.
We do a breathing for about 15 minutes, and then we do exercise all by the time it's 8 a.m. In fact, I did that before my sales training before I met you
Mm.
here.
Mm.
And so when you do that, you ground. And when you're grounded, it allows for you to pause easily.
Hmm. Without a doubt, it's very interesting that you talk, and thank you for sharing about this lady that had a groundbreaking through the communication that happened in that room, and that people even taught her the most important lesson that we all should have. It's that pause, right? And recently, I overheard one of my managers speaking to someone, and I said, "Wow, that was a
Samuel,
lot." Yes, sir.
I'm hearing this loud voice coming in. Does
That's
this happen
because
on,
it's
does
it's,
this
it's
ever
an,
happen on StreamYard? I have like someone's in our channel.
nobody's here, but I'm going to tell you what could happen. Maybe somebody has the something else on.
Huh? No. It's super loud. It's even
I'm
going up
hearing
like,
I'm
can you
hearing
hear
it
it?
now.
Can you hear it? Give me a second. Let me
Yep.
just see.
And then we have to wrap it up anyway, because I have another event I have to go myself. And, I can't be late.
Oh my gosh. Done.
I got you. So something was playing in the background. I get it. So with that pause, what happens is, so my manager was talking to somebody and I said, hey, you were talking to that person for a long time. What did they say?
Mm.
And the funniest thing she said to me is, they talked a lot. I said, so what did they say? They said nothing. I said, what do you mean? She goes, they just yabbed on and on and on. And I said, what was the context? She goes, not much. They could have said everything they were going to say in 30 seconds. Meanwhile, it was like a 15, 20-minute conversation.
That
And
is
my
incredible.
manager was just listening, right? They were listening because they were trying to help them.
Mm-hmm.
But the person basically just, some people love hearing their own voice, yet there's no context coming out. There's no
Content.
context or content, either one.
Content. Yeah.
So, but I want to thank you for coming on today. I think that this was very short. I think you and I can probably talk for days, and we should.
We should.
So I definitely would like for you to come on my other shows as well.
I would love
And
that.
I am so excited that you and I have made this connection.
Oh,
I just want to share with you, I think that one of the things that you and I both do is we disrupt. And I
yes.
think that's one of the things that I think that's why I got noticed on our call, because I was a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of a disruptor. I did apologize to everybody, but did you notice even you changed what you were doing? Because
Mm-hmm.
for me, sometimes I can't hold back. I got to tell the truth. All right. So
100%. Yes. Yes. Um, can I share some free gifts with the audience?
sure. So you have top producer global. Let's go ahead and Laurie.
And
Hi, Laurie. How are you?
text the word.
You know Laurie? Laurie McKinney.
Do I see? Hey, Lori, what's up, Lori?
There you go. Yeah,
Is she on? She's watching us on Facebook.
correct.
What's up,
Yeah,
Lori?
yeah.
Sir Kaya Redford in the Foshizi with Lori. Lori is it. She is the marketing and branding expert in the world. So you guys need to look up Lori A.
Right.
McNeil.
So here we go. Top producers global, right? That's what you guys.
Topproducersglobal.com. We have an event every third Saturday of the month. We actually have one coming up. They're on Zoom. We do some that are live in person. We have one actually coming up in San Diego on the 17th of July, which is Wednesday, next Wednesday. And then we have every third Saturday of the month. We have one on July 20th is the next one. And what's the third Saturday in August? It is August 17th. So July 20th is the next one, August 17th. And then we'll have one in September 21st, October 19th. So every third Saturday of the month from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is 1 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it goes deep into just being the best version of yourself. My gift to all of you for tuning in is we have how to close more business, right? How to, as an entrepreneur, as a leader. I spoke to a lady at the gym the other day. She's stunning. She's an influencer. And she's like, but Kai, I'm struggling. I'm like, why? She's like, I barely sell enough. She does beauty and hair products. She says, I barely sell enough to meet my overhead. So,
Before
which is,
before we run out of time, because I do have to head going, but
yes.
text word top to
Yeah, so for the
26.
free gifts, we've got how to close more business with the different personalities. You'll also be invited to our top 1% earners private closed group, so you can learn from them, learn from me, and you also get the 7 best kept secrets masterclass to dominating in any economy. All of that are your gifts. It's valued over $1,000. You can have it all for free. You can have it all for free today, right now. All you do is text the word top, TOP, to the phone number 26786. Again, text the word top, TOP, to the phone number 26786, TOP, to the phone number 26786. And then within about 10, 15 seconds, you'll get put in your info and you'll get the free gifts.
Beautiful. Love it. I'm so happy that we had this time together, my friend. And let's keep the conversation going. Everybody, do me a favor. If you watch it, hit replay, watch the replay, send it to other people. We're well worth sending out. So, Sir
And
Kaya.
Sifu, are you originally Italian, or what's your background?
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
You don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm Colombian.
Colombian. Oh, you said Colombian. Yes, you did say Colombian. Yes, I'm going to invite you to have Italian dinner on
I
Newport
love it.
Beach with me. It's the
I'm
best.
coming. I'm coming. All right.
Colombia, Cartagena. Let's go, baby.
Let's do
Thank
it.
you so
All right,
much. God bless, brother. See you soon.
you got it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.